Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because as an author, black author of black children's books, I gotta give shout out to my mother on that because she was very intentional about providing
Really?
those books in our household. Yes, so I
Okay.
grew up with the Jack Ezra Keats, even though he's a white author, but
I
those
know.
characters. Just Mufaso's daughters.
Mhm.
What else? Just we were reading family anyway, but my mother made sure to provide those books around the house. We had Ebony and Jet magazines in the household constantly. So,
Excellent.
and my mother came from that background from her growing up about providing those images around and making sure that we saw the variations of Black life,
Mhm.
print, in art, in photo. Like she was very intentional and still is. My mother still is about that.
I
Wow.
think that it's important that we talk about, our community in its various manifestations so that a lot of the young people who've lost touch with that on Saturday mornings, Black women gathered around the kitchen table and did each other's hair for church the next Sunday, but they talked about life, they talked about love, they talked about money, they talked about men. Mostly they talked about being Black women. And that socialization process of Black women, older Black women, guiding and supporting and advising, younger Black women was essential to Black women, maintaining a sense of self in a very hostile world sometimes. If you've been taught all of your life that you are beautiful and someone walks up to you and says you're ugly, you're like, oh, that's interesting. Mm-hmm. But you know who you are. Mm-hmm. And so with, as I said, particularly the loss of these kitchen table conversations and these Black women just kind of, literally most of my beauty tips I learned at the kitchen table. I really did. And I still use them a few years later. Mm-hmm. But they were tried and true recipes for beauty, for love, for laughter, for sharing pain. And that's what they did. And so I guess that it's important that young people know the kinds of sociological institutions that we as Black people carried from the South and continued, and how those kind of sociological institutions help us maintain ourselves as a community.
Because I think I grew up in the early 70s where the family would come together and they would party and drink because of the stress that they dealt with, through the work. But the point that you brought up to me, Irene, that I thought was amazing, where you said in Harlem, we didn't need to lock doors.
No.
So then I want to hear from your perspective, because I love this. Where did this theme come from in regards to Black on Black crime?
Half of all Black women are losing their hair. They're going bald. And it's because of, type rating, relaxers and all these other kinds of things. When I grew up, Black women had big bushes of hair, and we'd be on Saturday morning, got that hot comb on the stove and got some, either sometimes lard and sometimes Vaseline, before they got the Dixie Peach and the Royal Crown. Really, and they'd be, pressing that hair, but that hair was thick, it was healthy, and it was long. And, long in terms of, it's, some people won't hair all the way down their back, but Black women would have full heads of hair. Mm-hmm. And it just saddens me to say half of our women are going bald. From the 1950s, in 50 years, we're losing our hair because we're trying to, simulate a beauty that isn't really ours, that we have our own beauty. Mm-hmm. That's native to, dancing naked under the palm trees. And that brown body has glory, that brown hair has glory. And that's the reason why I'm so excited about this hair mask series that I'm working on, because it talks about the beauty and the power of Black hair. That so many...
Yeah. Baby, yeah. You don't say ready for this. I had patience, but you was time wasting, oh no. I'm tired of waiting.